Hi everyone, welcome to Rise and Trending. It's a Sunday today. Uh, the weather is terrible where I am, and I've got a guest with me who is um, currently in South Korea. She always corrects me whenever I say this word. But she's in Daegu, uh, and she's been studying there for quite some time. She's a social healthcare and medical administrator. Do I have that correct, Anna?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And
So,
thank you for getting Daegu correct because you always say Daegu.
oh,
And
wait, but oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Today we've got a good topic that we want to share with you guys, which is the role of failure in success. Anna, do you know how many times I failed?
No.
I have failed so many times, and um, I've just come to realize that
Mm-hmm.
for the amount of times that I failed, um, there was something that I was learning. But at that particular time,
Mm-hmm.
I did not understand what was like going on. And
Yeah.
obviously, in you being in your case and in your situation, there were
Mm-hmm.
times that you felt like, okay, I'm not enough.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be
True.
like those kids, you know? Did you have
Mm-hmm.
those kids in school as well that you thought, or maybe you were those kids? You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, how do you view like what's your view of failure, first of all?
Um, my view of failure to start with is failure is okay, let's say you have an expectation, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say you're writing a test or maybe you're having exams in your school and for you, let's say you have an expectation of saying, okay, I need to get 75%,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you get, let's say, 45. You, you would label that as failure. You would label that as, okay, I have failed. I was trying to get a 75, but now I get a 45.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just how I view failure.
Um,
That's how I define failure personally.
that's a
Attaining a, mhm.
That's a very good description, but before we can like go like too much uh into this conversation, obviously you like being someone who has gone to like schools in Zambia, you,
Mhm.
you obviously know how it is, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um I've been in a school where, in a classroom before where we were like over 100 people.
I know, right? Those government schools in Zambia.
Exactly. Over a
Hmm.
hundred people, all my life, in fact. So,
Yeah.
um, do in terms of, in terms of that journey to like, because governments and schools are supposed to like, uh, protect people,
Yeah.
from being in those situations, right? Do
Hmm.
you feel like uh, at some point, how successful or how unsuccessful you are in a classroom can contribute to those kinds of like situations? Or maybe it's just me, myself, and that's the reason why I'm failing. Does being in a class where you're like overcrowded like lead?
Of course, like, of course. And that's one of the factors that affect low performances in classes because let's say you have one teacher and that one teacher is handling like 100 pupils. It's very hard. It's very hard for one person for one teacher to have 100% attention on a pupil
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to performance. So, you know, the teacher will just give work, write something on the board, pupils follow. The teacher won't even have time to like go through thoroughly to check, oh, this person is progressing this way. This person, these are the weaknesses, these are the strengths that this pupil has, you know. So those are some of the reasons that lead to low performance in class because the class is just too crowded. You know, there is less attention for one-on-one conversations with the teacher, and also playfulness. Imagine you are like 100 kids in class. That's a
Yeah.
bunch of kids in just one class.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you can't even concentrate like that.
We had
So,
in my class
mhm,
we were like 120 something. Just
that was too much. That was too much.
yeah, we were. And I think if I remember like clearly, maybe things have changed now, but
Mm-hmm.
we um we were in this situation where uh like our teacher one time she came in and then
Mm-hmm.
um she was teaching us maths. And then
Mm-hmm.
I feel I feel so bad because she was like a what's this? She was a student teacher
Mm-hmm.
just sent to our school. And then we were a lot and then only boys in that class.
Oh my
So
God.
exactly. And so she like whenever she comes into class and then
Mm-hmm.
she's teaching, obviously she looked like a bit younger and the like. So there was
Yeah,
some
yeah.
boys, like some naughty guys in my class whereby, like even sometimes she would say something and people
Mm-hmm.
would laugh. And
Oh,
you talked about being naughty. This teacher
yeah.
actually like went to that like the head teacher's office and then was like, no, I do not want to continue in this class.
You
I
see?
want you to give me another class. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I can tell you, uh it's true. Like the more the class, the more you have like people who have got like different personalities.
Yeah, different personalities, different, like they come from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
different home setups. So this one kid will come from wherever he comes from with
Mhm.
a mentality to learn, and
Yeah.
he's going to find 50 pupils who are not interested in school. They just go to school, wait for break time, eat their food, run back home. You know,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So I feel
exactly.
like the education system also contributes to the performance of kids in school, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, like coming back to the conversation that we're having,
Yeah.
the role of failure in success.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the beginning, there were many times I failed in my life, and I felt like
Yeah.
I was not enough, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to leave other stuff before.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel like if I had persevered in some of them,
Mm-hmm.
the outcome would have been different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and uh, that failure as well, when you relate it to the people around me, how
Mm-hmm.
they responded to it,
Yeah.
resulted into me like clinging on to that same idea that I had, even if I
Mm-hmm.
failed, or
Yeah.
leaving it behind. So what I'm basically saying is that you'd find that you fail at something, and then the
Yeah.
people around you be like, ah, so muzona mungakuwa nisema waiziwa.
Yes, yes, I know that expression. Yeah.
Exactly. So you'd find that you'd find that in that situation, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know what you want, you
Mm-hmm.
you just give up on most of your dreams.
Yeah, true. And basically, things like one of the things that I love about, I don't love failure, but I feel like failure comes with certain aspects that if we pay attention to them, we would be better people, you
Yeah.
know. I
Uh-huh.
love the fact that failure makes you understand yourself better, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
So if you're doing something, let's say you're trying out a new skill or a new idea. Okay, I'll just share my personal experience even with school basically.
Yeah.
So through primary school, I won't say like I was failing, you know those numbers like you pass number 55.
Yeah.
oh, you passed number 45. No, I
Mm-hmm.
never had that experience, but I had a target. I had a target to either pass number one or number two.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, if I passed number three, that was like failing. You know what I mean? That is why I started by defining failure as, let's say you have an expectation, then you don't attain that expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that I'll have this test and I'll pass number four. And
Yeah.
my grandmother would just be like, I expected you to pass number one and number two. Why did you bring number four? I'm like, I tried,
Can I
you
can I
know?
can I just can I just pause you a little bit on that one um before like you like continue.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget where you've ended from. But
Yeah.
I mean I've been in similar situations as well where
Mm-hmm.
like your parent is like saying the same thing that you said. So I
Yeah.
feel like does that have like two sides of a coin to like a person? Like the same expression where like your grandma was saying, I was expecting you to do better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have like two sides to a coin? Is it like the expectation of a parent is just for you to be number one or for you to achieve a certain type of thing without them recognizing that maybe you can be good in another area?
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. So I feel like this is a vast aspect
Hmm.
to success. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So you the environment or your upbringing will have an expectation. Like they will have something that they will expect from you.
yeah,
We expect Anna to perform this way or up to this standard. And if you don't meet that standard, they will call you a failure. You know, the environment has labeled success, differently. So others will say, oh, if you pass number one, then you are succeeding. If
hmm,
you come out number one all the time in your class, or if your GPA is more than 3.5, or if you can stand in front of people and speak confidently, if you can, all those things, like they have labeled success just like that. And let's say your parents, right? They say, okay, if you want to be successful in life, you need to be coming out number one.
yeah.
What if that person is good at something? I'm
So,
not despising school, but what if that person has strengths in other things that you're not recognizing,
yeah.
but imposing the passing number one and number two in class?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it has like like two sides of the coin. I feel like parents also have to identify what their kids are good at, and like just imposing things to say, okay, you have to perform like this, you have to do this. And also how you label success as a person also contributes, you understand?
Exactly.
So
I think on the part where you're saying labeling success, uh,
yeah.
um, my friend told me something that always like sticks to me most of the times.
Mm-hmm.
I was told that if you do not pay attention to tiny details, you're always going to produce bad work. And that
True.
what that basically means is that sometimes we are so much in a hurry to like achieve something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so much in a hurry to achieve something whereby we forget the tiny details in
Mm-hmm.
like on the way there. So even in situations where we're talking about
Hmm.
success in this way,
Yeah.
or failure in this way, you'd find that you have failed, but you're not looking at what made you to reach to that destination or that
Yeah.
destination.
True.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we would often not see what resulted into that failure and then
Mm-hmm.
turn that result into a success or
Yeah.
into a strength. Because most of the times in our communities, failure is seen to be a weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
When you fail at something, people say, "Oh yeah, this is you're weak in this." But
Yeah. Sorry to cut you. There's a saying people say, you learn from your mistakes.
yeah,
You've heard that before, right?
yeah,
You learn from your mistakes. So throughout our journeys, like our lives, we need, like you said, we need to pay attention to those tiny details that come out from experiences. So let's say you failed at something, maybe you took up something that you wanted to do, write a song, maybe you tried out athletics, running,
Yeah.
sports, or whatever. Let's say you failed, you didn't attain your expectation that way. You have to sit down and say, okay, this is where I went wrong,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and also understand yourself better to say, okay, I feel like I can do this much better. This would turn out to be okay if I do it this way. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not all about getting the negativity from the failures that we have, but also trying to learn from them. I personally don't take failure as a weakness.
Yeah.
Actually, it has worked to my advantage, because when I fail at something, of course, I don't want to fail at every first attempt. But if I fail at something, I'll be like, oh, I did it this way. I did it this way. I feel like I'm gonna do it better next time.
Well, what do you
And
think? What do you think is one wrong way that people view, like people that we view people who are like very successful? Like, what are
come
some of the
again.
wrong ways that you feel,
Hmm.
especially us in our communities,
Yeah,
like view people who are like successful in their fields or because there's always something
yeah,
that
yeah.
I have always like listened like to people say that
Mm-hmm.
lucky people, you see?
No, no, no.
Yeah,
That's a very beautiful question, Richard. I would say I'm gonna tell you this: successful people have had experiences of failure at some point. They have failed in something at some point. I try by all means to listen to these motivations, of people who've made it. The saying that we have of, oh, vanafika hapo. I try to listen to their stories, and they all have this common thing to say, okay, I tried it, but at some point it never worked,
yeah.
you know
Hmm.
so we have this wrong view of successful people to say, okay, it just happened to them. Vinachitika chabi.
It just happened
It's not,
overnight.
yeah, it just happened, like maybe it was luck, or I don't know. But we don't have, we need to change that mentality, because journeys of life, I don't know how I can put this, but people experience different things, and depending on how you act to that, like how you just rise up and move from that state of failure, you
So
know
what can
it's what
you
determines. Mhm.
what can you tell someone who is feeling like a failure right now? Like I've failed everything in life. I've tried. What would you tell them?
um I would tell them to just have a, a better view of whatever the situation is.
Yeah,
Think positively, even in that situation. Not every failure is like the end of the tunnel.
yeah,
No. People say there's light at the end of a tunnel. So if you're in a situation where, okay, you feel like you have failed, I feel I feel like you should look at it from a different point of view, from a different perspective.
yeah,
Why not learn from it? If you have to analyze the situation, where have you gone wrong? And what are the things that you feel like you can do better? I wanted to share this experience with you. You know, before enrolling in at my university, right? Before you enroll, you need to write this topic. It's a Korean exam, so they need to test your proficiency in Korean, your understanding, your writing, your speaking, and your listening.
yeah.
So I have attempted that exam 3 times, and I have failed all the 3 times. So now I ask myself, is this really the result? And I see people around me passing, there's like level 1 to level 6. I fail, but you find someone gets level 6. They'll get a level 6, like the highest level. I'm like, there's a possibility of actually passing this thing. And I just sit down. Sometimes I just go like, okay, if I put more effort to this thing, I feel like I can make it. Sometimes we don't want to persevere. Sometimes we don't want to learn from our mistakes. If my past mistake has been, okay, I don't study towards the thing. I don't try to read more. I don't try to do this or that. Definitely I'm going to yield the same result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But if I learn from the mistake, oh, okay, last time I never studied, let me try to study this topic, let me try to do vocabulary. At the end of the day, I'm going to improve.
Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
One thing that I can also share in my personal experience with failure is that
Mm-hmm.
what people don't know is obviously I live in the UK now, right? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying I'm better than anybody else, but I'm just
Yeah.
sharing my personal experience because this is something that somebody can learn from.
Yeah.
I before when I was trying my level best to like uh, cultivate or maybe find a share of this market
Mm.
or this place. I I failed so many times, and
Yeah.
I actually have a record of visa refusals where
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "No, you don't have enough money, so we cannot allow you to enter the UK," and the like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I was just trying to come and try to visit this place. So during that time, I myself, I felt like, oh my God, I am a
I'm
failure.
doomed. Yes.
Why are things happening this way? Why do they make it? You know that thing
Mm.
where like
Yeah.
you already have an idea of people who have done what you are trying to do and they
Yes.
have made it. But
Yeah.
and then you ask yourself questions like, what makes them make it and why am I not making it? You
Yeah,
see?
and the fact that we have people to point to point at, to say, okay, this person made it. I'm doing the same thing. This person made it. Like, what's making me not to do it?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's making me not to do it? That's the
yeah,
question. Yeah.
mm,
So, but something that I've realized in the process whereby, okay, I fail a lot. Even every week I fail at something, and to tell you the truth, every
yeah.
single week I fail at something.
We
That
fail. We fail.
yeah, like
We
every
fail at
week,
different things. Yeah.
every week I fail almost at something. I'm like,
Mhm.
my God, why? And then
You just feel like giving up. Okay, I end here. You
yeah,
know.
this is where I end. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
go anywhere. But yeah, but something that I've realized is success is often like more meaningful when achieved
Mm-hmm.
after failure. When you fail, then you make
Mm-hmm.
it. You feel
Yeah.
great. Yeah. And
Exactly.
exactly. And then that struggle just amplifies the joy of accomplishment. It
Mm-hmm.
gives that deeper appreciation where you
Yeah.
feel like,
True.
okay, I've achieved this, I've worked so hard
Mm-hmm.
on this. And also, like like you said, the most successful people in history. Even
Yeah.
there's this man that I know, Albert Einstein. He failed
Mm-hmm.
so many times in his life.
Yeah.
Today we are using his formulas, we're using his knowledge to like
Mm-hmm.
work out stuff in life, in
Mm-hmm.
science, you see. Yeah, so before we are going to the end of this, just
Mm-hmm.
a quick one. Um, what can we change in our view of success? What is that young boy or that young girl that is saying, "Oh, Anna that, oh, Anna that"? What can they
Mm-hmm.
change in their view of success today so that they can be better?
Okay. So I would put it this way. If you want to have a better view on success, you need to change your view on failure. You know, failure is just one of the ways, like the trial and error. I would call it that way. So if you are looking at success, and let's say you have experiences of failure, just look at it as a way of trying to reach that target that you want to reach. Failure will help you build resilience. You will learn from your mistakes. you know you will understand yourself better, and you will actually have a, like an empathetic view even when you see another person failing, you will actually be, okay, let me help this person. This person is failing in this way. So you have to look at success as just expectations that we have. And if you don't attain that expectation, it's not that it's the end of the road or it's the end of the whole journey. You need to look at it from a different point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you look for ways to say, okay, let me do this way. And also, before we end this, try to find something that you are good at. It's not everything that you will succeed at, or succeed in. Yeah, it's not everything that you can succeed at. So look for that something that you are good at doing, and don't force things, like forcing those things that you feel you know that, okay, this is not my area. There are people who are trying to push for things that are not even in their line of passion.
Yeah.
That is why they find themselves failing even more. And it's so frustrating when you're failing in something that you don't even like. You go like, at the end of the day, I don't even like this thing. Why am I pushing? But if you are doing something that you like and you fail, you'll be like, okay, let me do this thing in a different way. And at the end of the day, you will succeed at it. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
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 So
Uh,
that's it.
yeah. So guys, you've heard it for yourself. Uh, yeah. So Anna, like I said, we've got a tradition on this podcast where
Mm-hmm.
you need to answer the question that was left by the person
Ah.
who was on the show. So the question that they had for you was that what can
Mm-hmm.
we do to help the young boys who are turning into uh junkies in the streets in our Zambian society? I've
Mm-hmm.
been a victim of that. Like seriously, I've been a victim
You
of
were
that.
a junkie.
No, no, I'm not. I wasn't
Mm.
a junkie, but I was in a situation where I was like almost attacked by, like
Oh
boys that
no.
could be younger than me or
Mm-hmm.
boys that could be like my age or maybe a bit older. You
Yeah, yeah.
understand? So the
Yes.
question was that what can we do? Is there anything we can do? Or maybe there's nothing. It's just, oh
Um,
yeah.
something can be done. You know, we are our brother's keepers. We're not like Cain who asked God that, am I my brother's keeper? Of course we are our brother's keepers. So if someone is going towards a ditch and they're about to fall and you are there, just go like, oh boy, fendeda. There's a ditch there. And if maybe they're already in the ditch, there are ways that you can help them.
Do you know?
Like the junkies that we have in our compounds, some of them are drug addicts. They come from different backgrounds. Some
I
of
think
them, they just act out to
I
suit
think you
into the
can't be a
environment.
junkie without taking some form of alcohol and drug. So, uh,
Oh, we have normal junkies.
no,
Trust me.
no,
I'm
I've
telling
never,
you, I
no.
know of someone who is like, he's not even alcoholic.
He's a normal
he's
junkie.
he's a normal junkie.
Then that should be you, right?
No, Richard.
You know what I feel? It's a great,
He's an
yeah, it's a great question, but I feel like the solution is just the police to me.
The solution is the police, but don't look at them as
No, no, I'm
outcasts.
not looking at anyone as an outcast. No, no, I'm not.
And
I am
also
not.
rehabilitations, but it's hard for our communities to just take people and put them in rehabilitation centers and stuff like that. It's not a norm. But if you can try to help someone out there who is turning into a junkie, try by all means to help them, because these junkies are scary. I live in 6 miles back home in Zambia, and that roundabout is surrounded by a lot of junkies. And most of the times when it's 19 or 20, you're
Yeah,
even scared to walk, like to move around. Like, what if I find a junkie?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, the police, number one, and just be on the lookout. Take care of yourself. Be safe
And
because
and
these guys
and
attack.
and you've basically talked about rehabilitation centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my community, when you talk about rehabilitation centers, obviously
Mm-hmm.
It's just one place, just jail for you. And
Oh,
and you know,
never
like
works.
the issue that I saw sometimes you'd find that someone can obviously uh we've got industries, right? Some of
Mm-hmm.
us, like for example, like me and Job, have gone to work in the industries immediately we were done with school. And you'd find
Yeah.
that there are some guys like our age, but
Mm-hmm.
they just want to like get stuff from people. I feel
Mm.
like the mentality behind the junkie most of the times is to get
Thief.
stuff. Yeah, it's to get stuff for
Stealing,
free.
yes.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
free from people.
Work
Uh,
hard for your things, bro.
yeah, anyways, Anna has said rehabilitation centers, be a brother's keeper. I don't know what that means. And also the police. So
Look out for your brother.
yeah, so what's your question for the next guest on the show?
Um, oh my God. The next question, I mean, the question for the next guest
Yeah.
is would be,
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to think too much about it.
I'm not even thinking right now. I'm just
Yeah.
blank. Wait, what what should the PF do to win the hearts of the people again?
Wow, okay. I wasn't like really expecting that, but yeah, you've hit it for yourself. What would the PF do to win the hearts of the people? Uh, yeah,
Again, yes.
that's the question we have. Thank you so much, Anna, for this, for your time. This has been an exciting, conversation, and I'm happy to,
Thank you.
learn from you. Uh,
You're welcome, and thank you so much for having me. I have equally learned something from this conversation, actually. Thank you so
exactly.
much for having me.
All right. Yeah, you have a nice time, and I will catch you later.
Bye.